Hi there, I'm Sharmen from the Marriage Recovery Center. I want to take a few moments today to talk about communication. I have this probably as the most common conversation with the couples that I work with on how to have better communication. And while I believe every counselor, marriage counselor, takes you down that path one way or another at some time, I don't think that that communication problems are actually the problem in your marriage. But if you can't communicate about things, if you can't talk about what's important, then you can't ever resolve it. So I want to give you just a few tools, tips, rules of engagement that can help you have a conversation with your spouse where you actually hear each other and have a potential, believe it or not, to actually resolve something. One of the biggest first things to think about is speaking for yourself. What I mean by that is when you are talking from a perspective where you are using your own words to describe how you feel, what you think, what you'd like to see happen, what your perspective is, that goes a lot farther than pointing out to the other person what their thoughts are, what their motive is, what their perspective is, what they're trying to do. Because the moment you're pointing your finger at them, so to speak, speaking for them, you instantly set up a courtroom. Like they're going to be defensive. And when you're defensive, nobody hears anybody. I always say nothing good ever happens in the courtroom. So we don't need any defenses here. We just need a conversation. So if you can learn to talk just from your own perspective of what's going on in you and bring that to the conversation, you're much more likely to have a conversation where then your spouse is invited to share from their own perspective, and you might actually get somewhere. Another big thing is when you're talking about things that you need to see changed, it's much more effective to put out there what you would like to see different, like, hey, it would really help me if we could da-da-da-da-da. That's much better than pointing to the other person's behavior and saying, don't ever do that again. I don't like how that feels. That's mean. That's whatever. Sometimes there is a place and time to say those kinds of things, but you're ultimately not going to get what you really need out of a relationship if you're just pointing at the bad behavior. Because again, that instantly raises defenses and makes it so that they can't hear you because now you're in the courtroom. So much better to say, hey, I think we should whatever from here on out, that would be a good thing to help with our relationship. Another good thing to think about is as you're looking at the dynamics of what's happening in between the two of you, if you start narrowing things down, not from a perspective of what's good and what's bad, or even what's true and what's not true, get even more down to the nitty-gritty. What is building this relationship and what is not? You want to capitalize, obviously, on what is building the relationship. You want to eliminate whatever is not building the relationship. So anything, any way you talk, any behavior, anything going on in the relationship, if you can talk about it from a perspective of, hey, that behavior isn't constructive to keeping us connected, let's try something different. Let's do it this way. Let's look at it from a different perspective with keeping the relationship engaged and connected as your goal, not trying to prove who's right, who's wrong, what's good, what's bad. It's just, is this building the relationship or is it tearing it down? So those are just three simple, basic, common sense, I would like to think, rules of engagement that can totally help you change the dynamics of your conversation and give you an even greater potential within the context of your marriage to actually resolve some things and hear each other. If you want more help untangling a communication mess or want someone to help you walk through some of your issues, we would love to help. So contact us at the Marriage Recovery Center. Get a hold of us through our website at marriagerecoverycenter.com. Thanks.